Alright guys, I wanted to go over a deck called Complications today. This deck is very complicated, to say the least. It's a Telvanni list, so somebody asked me probably about 3 weeks ago at this point to play Telvanni, and I have not gotten around to it, but this is this is another interesting deck. I wanted to play off of a very specific interaction, and that would be Wisp Mother and Fleeting Apparition. So, Wisp Mother, when you summon a creature that costs 2 or less, summon a copy of that creature in the other lane. And Fleeting Apparition, betray or summon it, well, it has betray, but summon a random creature from your deck that costs 3 or less to a random lane. Unsummon it at the end of your turn. I have 4 creatures in the deck that cost 3. Everything else costs 2. The ones that cost 3 are Galen the Shelterer and Telvanni Catspaw. Galen essentially to give us more 2s in our deck. We can copy in more Shadow Mirrors, more Ungolims. We could copy in more Wisp Mothers. We could copy in more Incanos. Galen's just a fantastic card to run in any purple deck, so I couldn't not include him in this list. And then Telvanni Catspaw, if we do pull one out, we'll be able to betray it with Fleeting Apparition, so I feel like that's good value. But essentially, what Fleeting Apparition is going to do most of the time is pull out a 2. If we have a Wisp Mother in the lane, that 2 will then get copied. So we'll get to keep one on the board and we'll pop the other one into our hand. So it just duplicates creatures for us. And then I thought that it was really fun to try to stuff in Corsair Ship and Sparksmith as well, because Corsair Ship will summon a dagger onto anything that gets summoned, and then Sparksmith will deal damage based on items that get equipped. So it's basically like the Gardener of Pants combo, but way more complicated, hence the name Complications. So I'll go over some of the other parts in the deck really quickly. I like to have loot in my decks when I'm trying to do something ridiculous like this, so I can just throw one on my Wisp Mother, and then we'll be able to just avoid Shadowfen Priests and Mute and Silence effects in general. Hopefully, that's the dream. Scouts Report just kind of helps us get through our deck a little bit easier. Look at the top card of your deck. You may discard it and then draw a card. So it's a pretty good card to just shuffle through. Shadow Shift, move a friendly creature, draw a card. Sometimes it's just going to be appropriate to try to move one of our Blackwood Distillers over to hit somebody in the field lane or vice versa in the shadow lane. I think that Shadow Shift, it's not entirely necessary for this deck, but I do really like it here. Shadowmere, charge, last gasp, shuffle Shadowmere into your deck, give it +3/+3, and increase its cost by 3. Ideally, we would be getting a second one of these because of Wisp Mother, so we'll ideally have a bunch of Shadowmeres in our deck at some point. That's the dream anyway. Ungolem, shuffle 3 Brotherhood Assassins into your deck. Brotherhood Assassins also cost 1, so if we put those down, then we'll be generating more Brotherhood Assassins and drawing more cards. It's just going to be, if this deck actually pops off, which it has before, I have played this before, if it does pop off in the video, it'll be really fun to watch. Balmora Spymaster. So its last gasp is summon a random creature with cost less than or equal to your max magicka. This is really nice because if we pull it from Fleeting Apparition, we can just sacrifice it immediately and then pull something else. And then hopefully, if we have Wisp Mother, it will duplicate another one. Barrowstalker. Just a very solid card. It's the only source of life gain in our deck that is not Necromancer's Amulet, so it should just help us stay alive a little bit longer, and sometimes just a 2/3 guard is enough to prevent you from dying. Fighters Guild Recruit, Prophecy Guard, and Lethal. This is one of the all-stars of agility. If you ask me, I think it's a fantastic prophecy. It's not too strong, it's not too weak. It's just the perfect guy to get the job done sometimes to block off a lane. Hist Speaker, we run 2 of these, but they're going to help us get our magic account up higher because to get this combo off, we need at least 12 magicka, Wisp Mother, and a Fleeting Apparition. So the Hist Speakers are going to hopefully help us get there a little bit sooner. Ice Spike, deal 2 damage to your opponent and draw a card. This is another tool, kind of like Scouts Report and Shadow Shift, just to get us with more cards in our hand and uh, closer to our combo. Shrieking Harpy, Prophecy, shackle an enemy creature. If you have a Wisp Mother out while you do this, it shackles 2 creatures, obviously, so it's really good to lock down a lane sometimes just to get these guys out there. The Prophecy is really, really helpful on that too. Sorcerer's Negation. Sometimes your opponent is doing something and you just need them to stop it, so Sorcerer's Negation is the perfect kind of, hey, stop. tool in the game. It's silence a creature, then deal 2 damage to it. This can, let's say that your opponent's got a Daggerfall Mage, this can just instantly take care of that problem for you. A lot of stuff in Daggerfall decks, they don't like to see Sorcerer's Negation, so if we run into a Daggerfall deck in particular, that'll be really nice. Thieves Guild Recruits, summon, draw a card if it costs 7 or more, reduce its cost by 1. We only have 5 cards that are over 7, but if we do draw those with Thieves Guild Recruit, it will be very nice because a Wisp Mother for 1 less is really good value. Our Wardcrafter, summon and give a creature ward. This is just kind of Wardcrafter's just kind of here because I like it. It can maybe block up a Fighters Guild Recruit for a little bit longer. It can block off our Thorana or our Wisp Mothers for any kind of damage that they're going to be getting. So hopefully we'll be able to get some value out of them, but I'm not super certain. We'll see. Oh, you know what? I lied. Will-O-the-Wisp. That is another source of drain in the deck. I forgot because I just put those in there at the end of me editing this deck a little bit ago. So Will-O-the-Wisp is another 2-drop creature that will help us get drain. So Barrowstalker, Will-O-the-Wisp, those are our drain guys. Dismantle. Destroy an enemy support or neutral creature. Dismantle can be super nice. I only run one of them. The hope is if I really need Dismantle, I'll be able to Thorana some more Dismantles in. If not, oh well, but it's always good just to run one, either for Alduin, Paarthurnax, or an Oblivion Gate. Dismantle, very helpful card. Galen the Shelterer, we talked about him already. Necromancer's Amulet. When a friendly creature dies, gain 1 health. Hopefully we'll be copying a lot of creatures, so our Necromancer's Amulets will be really effective at gaining us life. There should be at least 2 creatures on the board. Well, 3, I guess, with the Wisp Mother, but when I put somebody down, hopefully it will get copied, and then the Necromancer's Amulet will be able to gain us at least 2 life in every turn. Then we've got our Telvanni Catspaw. Last gasp, draw a card. If Telvanni Catspaw was sacrificed, draw 2 cards instead. Again, we have, we got 2 ways to sacrifice Telvanni Catspaw. We've got Fleeting Apparition and Devaith's Experiments. Generally, though, this thing is just going to be dying um, because it's a 2-2, and drawing a card with the last gasp is a pretty damn good ability. Blackwood Distiller. Pilfer, gain 3 Magicka this turn. Slay, gain +1 max Magicka. I think Blackwood Distiller generally has more utility than the Venom Tongue does, so Venom Tongue is lethal, which is really nice, but Blackwood Distiller, that Pilfer that it has, is something really interesting to play around with. So I am hoping that we can get some good value out of this. You know, pop him in the face, we gain 3 Magicka, and then we can just do more with our turn. Corsair ships, talked about these already. There's only 2 of them. I run 3 Sparksmiths, though, because it's easier to kill creatures than it is to kill supports generally. So 2 Corsair ships, 3 Sparksmiths. Then we've got Lightning Bolts just for the prophecy and the little bit of extra reach. This deck is very hard to win with, so I am not super counting on getting a victory all the time, but if we do actually manage to get close to killing someone, Lightning Bolt can help us along in the process. Fleeting Apparition, discussed that. Spoils of War, draw 2 cards and power, costs 1 less. Hopefully we'll have a lot of creatures on the board, so we'll be able to proc our Spoils of War more effectively. Sun and Shadows, Sun and Shadow, summon, permanently shackle another friendly creature to draw an action of your choice from your deck. Sun and Shadow is really neat. We'll be able to draw stuff like our Fleeting Apparitions, maybe an Ice Storm if we needed, a Sorcerer's Negation. There's 25 actions that we can pull from, so Sun and Shadow will be getting some value from just drawing us a card like that. And a lot of this stuff, like if we play Sun and Shadow somehow on a Wisp Mother Fleeting Apparition turn, we can, like let's say we had a Wisp Mother down on turn 6, turn 7 probably. Turn 8 we Fleeting Apparition. It's not making sense how I'm explaining it. Turn 9, we throw a Wisp Mother down. Turn 10, we Fleeting Apparition. Then we Sun and Shadow and shackle, that permanently shackle, air quotes, the creature that got summoned. That creature will get unsummoned at the end of our turn, so it will be as if we didn't shackle anything at all. Hopefully that explanation makes more sense. Sun and Shadow, good card. Thorana, I think everyone knows Thorana, but I'll explain it anyway. After you play an action, shuffle 3 0-cost copies of that action into your deck. Just a good way for us to get Ice Spikes. It's one of my favorite combos in the game. Thorana Ice Spike generates 0 cost Ice Spikes. If you draw one the next turn, there's then just a shit ton of Ice Spikes in your deck that your opponent has to deal with. Ice Storm. Deal 3 damage to all creatures. This will help kill off our own creatures to fuel our Necromancer's Amulet, and it will also help clear the board if our opponent does some silly, goofy stuff. Wisp Mother, discussed that. Ancano, Breakthrough. Summon. Deal 5 damage. Your actions have Breakthrough. We're not so concerned about the actions having Breakthrough in this game as we are with the deal 5 damage. Ancano can just help us get along. He's a really scary thing to have on the board. Makes our opponent think that we're maybe running something more serious than we are, depending on when we draw him. And yeah, it's a big target for removal. So Ancano, good guy. Nice to know him. Devaith's Experiments. Betray. Summon a copy of a friendly creature. So Devaith's Experiments could work very effectively on almost any card in our deck. So if we were to, let's say we need a few more damage on the board, and we've got a Shadow Mirror, we can Devaith's Experiments and pull another Shadow Mirror to get that charge in there. We can Devaith's Experiments on Thorana, shuffle more Devaith's Experiments in then, which is a crazy thing to do. We could Devaith's Experiments our Wisp Mother. We could Devaith's Experiments our Ancano, deal like 15 damage in one turn. We could, there's a lot of stuff that we can do with it. So with that said, I think that's essentially every little moving part of the deck. And maybe there's something that I missed that will get brought up in the games that we're about to play, but I'm hoping that they'll be fun to watch at the very least. So I'll see you guys on the other side, and thanks for watching. All right, we're up against Super Nemo, the Hist Mage, but they're on Guildsworn. So we'll see how that title works with his colors. So I'm keeping one Necromancer's Amulet. Now we have 2. But I do want to have one early on because I feel like the sooner you can get your supports down, generally, the better off you are. Now he will have access to Dushnik-Yal Archers, and of course everybody has access to the Dreg that can destroy supports, but hopefully he's not running any of those, and hopefully he's not on Invade. It's not super important for me to ring out a Necromancer's Amulet, I feel, and Shrieking Harpy, you never want to play Shrieking Harpy by itself, I would say. You generally want to wait until your opponent's at least played one thing, and then you get your Harpy down. There's one Necromancer's Amulet down. This guy hasn't played anything yet, so he could be waiting for his invasion party if he's on Invade. This guy does have 100 cards in his deck. That is the Guildsworn special. The Black Dragon, though. Okay, that's interesting. So the Black Dragon could really mess up my game plan here. I feel like I just want to Shrieking Harpy this. And... Fighters Guild Recruit doesn't affect that because it's immune to lethal. Okay. Well, this is interesting. There's Ungolem. Ungolem I'm not worried about losing out on. So I'll play him and then I'll do the other Necromancer's Amulet. And there's 2 health for us right out the gate. I'm worried to put down a Fighters Guild Recruit here. If anyone doesn't know, Black Dragon, discard all creatures from your opponent's deck with the same name as the slain creature. So not worried about Ungolem getting killed because there's only one of him in our deck, but it could be a problem with some of our creatures here. Okay, Scout's Report's good here. Double Scout's Report is interesting. Balmora Spymaster definitely is not helpful here. Will-o'-the-Wisp is pretty good. And Wardcrafter's good here. So, Will-o'-the-Wisp and Wardcrafter. I had a feeling that we'd get some form of value out of our Wardcrafter. So, obviously we just want to get rid of this thing. That's the goal. And then I had a feeling something like that might happen. but that's the goal. This card is very upsetting. There's another one of our supports already. Hmm. I can't afford taking too much more damage. I'm going to play a Corsair ship, get some stuff on the board. Play Fighters Guild, then Shadow Shift it over. I'm not thrilled about this. We're going to be losing out on our Fighters Guild recruits, but I think this is going to be a problem over here the longer that we let it just lay stagnant. So probably swings in like this. Yep. And there go my other Fighters Guild recruits. Auroran Sentry is really good here. Wow. Okay, well there's our Fleeting Apparition, but I don't think we want to play that just yet. Telvanni Catspaw is very good. So good, in fact. I think I'd like to play it. Set myself up for a Fleeting Apparition next turn. Merrick, wow. That's good. Wow, that's good too. Ooh, that is interesting. Thankfully, none of my creatures are at 1 health, but that's wild. This guy's very aggressive right now. And he seems to have drawn almost everything right on curve. There's our Sparksmith. Yeah, I don't think we're staying alive in this one too well. Telvanni Catspaw again, though, is very interesting. How about lay down another one? Play Fleeting Apparition. Yeah, I'll play Fleeting Apparition. Ooh. Okay, this is interesting. Sacrifice this one. Gain some extra health. It'll summon another one, hopefully over in the Shadow Lane. Okay, I was hoping it would go in the Shadow Lane and then I'd be able to kill this thing off, but that did not work out the way I had wanted it to, so I think we're done here. Let's see, he's got 9 right there, plus 5 is 13. Yeah, I mean, we're totally done here. Unless he's gonna give me a lightning bolt, so I don't want to draw anything else right now because perhaps we'll draw our lightning bolt on our prophecy. And I could have rolled the dice with sacrificing the Balmora Spymaster. That was another option that could have happened. And no lightning bolt, so good game. There's Ancano too. Kills this one. Yep. GG. Fair enough. That guy had like a bunch of really good stuff that he was playing against us. I don't think there was any world where we were going to come back from that with our stupid ass deck. But it's good to see matchups like that where you're just going to get steamrolled. So it's kind of like that Guildsworn video that I made where I was doing like a foe invade. Okay, Avishai, the Truthbringer versus me, the founder. It's kind of good to see matchups like that though. It's very similar to that, I feel, that video, because the only way that I won playing that deck was playing against somebody who was playing something also extremely off meta. So you just have to find your matchup sometimes, but that's okay. I kept this hand. It's not great, but I don't know. I wanted to see what we could do with it. I saw Necromancer's Amulet. I saw a 2-drop. If anything, the Balmora Spymaster can induce some kind of removal at the beginning of the game because people don't like to see this thing go off. Even though it's completely 100% just random what it chooses. Oh, cool. And this guy is, of course, on Midnight Burial because why wouldn't he be? Headless Zombie. I mean, do you really play Midnight Burial? And okay, Okay, he's on singleton. I can respect that a little bit more, but still not not ideal. I'm gonna get the Corsair ship down before the Necromancer's Amulet here. And if this guy's on singleton, that means that in the Telvanni colors, is he gonna get rid of that immediately? Oh, yep. I mean, I get it. Playing singleton, I understand. Gotta use silence effects. Make myself immune to silence. It's a shame we didn't get that a turn before. Okay. You know what the crazy thing about Midnight Burial is? Is it creates a copy of that creature in your deck. Like, there are 2 Morokais now. Okay, we'll do that. Okay, I I like the emote button too, but when people overuse it like that, it gets very annoying and tilting. So I'm just gonna mute him. We'll see here with our... Ooh, it's not worth it. We'll see with our Fleeting Apparition. There we go. That's good. She got charge. We'll summon another one. Cool. I'll hit him. Then we fill our hand back up with our Fighters Guild recruit anyway. Odinir and Necromancer brings back a Treeminder. Balmora Spymaster, maybe? Yep. Gives him the sword, too. I mean, I hope it pulls out a Vermilion Scuttler. There's our Wisp Mother, too. I'm gonna Thorana Shadow Shift. Put more of those in our deck. I'll kill this. At least we have the Wisp Mother in hand for this one. So I don't believe we saw her in the last one. Something 7 cost. Okay. That is a little scary and a little unfortunate. I would like to get more Fleeting Apparitions in the deck, but that doesn't seem like an option. What I can do here... I'm pretty sure if I play Ice Storm, it's not going to shuffle any more in because Thorana will die. So I think I'm going to make that his responsibility to take my Thorana out. An Ice Storm entirely kills my board, but it doesn't kill his. Did he not? Oh, okay. That's not too bad. And he gets a Lonith for his siege. I can kill everything, though, so that's good. Yup. Still can kill everything, and I'll draw a card from it too, so that's great. Do that. I will get an insanely high value Ice Storm. Oh, I won't draw a card because yeah. Yep. But I will do that and get my Distiller on board. Now he's totally got his Siege now, so that's probably what his next turn is. Plays Morokai instead. Maybe that's what he pulled. Was his Morokai. I think... Here's the problem. I could kill this thing with my Lightning Bolt, but that's using 8 damage to kill a 5 cost, or a 5 health creature. So I don't know if that's the right move. I think I'll just establish my Wisp Mother. I'm not even going to hit him. Gonna wait. Okay. Does he give me a card? He does. Reanimates his other, his more, okay, his Laneth. So I'm thinking that maybe he summoned his Mordecai that time, or the first time, and then this time he summoned his Siege. I don't know. You do have to treat singleton decks a little bit differently. Okay, so this is the combo. There's a Steel Dagger. And then here is a Barrow Stalker that will get copied over here. And then we'll put the Steel Daggers on. So we got it to go off. It worked. This can protect this mostly. And then I think, I don't know. I'll just hold. We'll see what he does. See what tricks he's got in his Singleton Tribunal deck. Or Singleton Telvanni. There's his Siege. He's bound to have Mushroom Tower. Oh my god. Uh-oh. Well, this is a loss. This is very bad. Oh, you got Sky Shard, not Mushroom Tower. The thing about Thorana, if you pull her from Siege, for some reason she copies it. I think. Oh no, it's if you have the Mushroom Tower and then you do it again. So she's not going to copy it. Okay. Hooray. We take this out. I don't think he's going to have anything too crazy. I'll hit him like that. I'll hit him. Ooh, wait, can we make him overdraw? Yeah, we're just going to keep making him overdraw. Cool. That is good news. He's going to get something. He's going to get his Siege back with the Headless Zombie, though. And he can't kill this whole lane off. He could choose to kill the Wisp Mother. Okay, I think he'll be fine. He'll be okay. So now what I really need is my other Ice Storm. One of my other Ice Storms, that is, to show up. I said earlier we have 23 actions in... Ooh, look at this. This is going to be so cool. That is fucking awesome. If we had Sparksmith right there, I think we would have won. That'll gain us some more health. And I think now we just hope for another Shadowmere to show up. I'm going to shuffle that back into my deck too. Because if we have another Shadowmere, it will be a 4/4. He's got to deal with this. Mm-hmm. There's that. So he'll pull his Siege back, I'd imagine. Mordecai could be really helpful for him. I feel like that was a very roundabout way. It's a very roundabout way to do that. Because he could have just brought back a Mordecai and then won the match. Shadowmere? Hey, good game. I'll unmute him. He's just gonna leave. All right, well, I think that might be a video by itself, just those two matches there, because I had a lot of fun there with that last one specifically.